Okay, welcome Ross. We're making a test today of our new internet studio here, and this can be streamed live. Right now we're just recording, and I just wanted to show you some of the possibilities. Now, of course, you cannot see what I'm seeing, namely we're sitting across from each other on the screen having a dialogue, but what do you think of it? Let me hear, what kind of possibilities do you see in this kind of internet technologies where we can have a global dialogue via internet TV and have people Skype in?
Well, I think it's a fantastic possibility to have online dialogue with people around the world on important questions. So I very much look forward to being a participant.
And now we're doing this in the context of the Occupy Wall Street project also. Yeah. Could you just tell the viewers briefly what is it your book is about and why you're engaged in this work?
Yeah. Well, the book, the subtitle of the book tells a great deal. It's a global roadmap for radical political and economic reform. And my basic message is that the global political economic structures are completely dysfunctional right now. I mean, they're just not working for the great majority of people around the world. The current system seems to be destroying us not only economically, but also ecologically and socially. And so I'm trying to address this question of why is this happening to us and what can we do about it? Okay.
And what is the greatest barrier, as you see it, to get people engaged in really creating a global movement towards a new kind of system?
Well, you know, I think people are engaged. If you look around the world, there are thousands and hundreds of thousands of NGOs who are trying to create change. But one of the points I'm making in this book is that the opposition to change is so enormous that there's no way that civil society on its own can make any changes. They're up against a very, very formidable opponent, particularly these three major institutions, the WTO, World Trade Organization, the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and the World Bank. They are the primary institutions that are determining the way that the global political economic system functions. And they are pretty much all an extension of the American system. And the American system more and more in the last 20 years in particular has been controlled by what John Perkins calls the corporatocracy. In other words, a network of very large multinational corporations and their shareholders. And they are simply not interested in change. Well, so therefore, it's not a question so much of motivating civil society as finding some way that we can create a strategy which would not only have a bottom-up content from civil society, but also have a top-down content. We have to find some people in some countries who are willing to reject the current system and put forward an alternative.
So let me rephrase the question then. What will it take to forge a united front, to unite people in means and objectives, to create a movement that can really have a global impact, that can sort of...
Good question. Good question. This is one of the things I do try to address in the last part of my book regarding the concrete strategies. And what I'm suggesting is that in order to really mobilize on a global scale the people who want to have change, the people from the civil society, that it's first necessary that a small group of countries, I call them the Gaian League countries, form an alternative organization and show to the world that there isn't a possible alternative to the current system. Even though on a very small scale, they say to the world, maybe just 6 or 7 countries, we're going to do things differently. We're going to give first priority to sustainability and human rights. Economic growth comes much further down the list. And this is the very opposite of the current system. And then they say to the rest of the world, you're welcome to join us. And this is where the civil society in different countries around the world can now join together and say to their governments, why are we not a member of this new organization, which stands for all the principles that we stand for democracy, for sustainability, for liberty, for freedom. All the things we stand for, they're claiming that they stand for. But we often, unfortunately, are not always living up to our ideals.
Well, I think that, I mean, if a big issue is probably that a lot of the politicians don't really want this kind of justice. So there's this old saying, when the people lead, eventually the leaders will follow. And maybe that's what we need. So, but tell me, now imagine that I was actually I could be replaced by another person in another part of the world who had a conversation here online with you. So we're just facilitating the dialogue.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of, how do you think we could make use of this in the Occupy Wall Street project? What kind of initiatives could you envisage using the technological possibilities here?
Well, I could imagine that we had perhaps announced in advance that there will be a dialogue where I would be available to answer questions, and perhaps we might even have one or two other persons participating in the dialogue as a kind of a panel, and open it up for discussions from questions from anyone around the world. I think that could be a very interesting form, and it is a way that we could create interest in the ideas and provoke a debate which is not happening at this time.
That would really be great to make it happen. Now I'm tempted to say that right now I'm just working. This is a test video actually, testing out the technologies. And right today I've been working on how to replace me with another person. And so I'm tempted. What would you think that we make a test this afternoon? Invite some people from Facebook and come and have a dialogue with you. And I can call you later. And are you available later this afternoon?
Sure.
It could be fun. I mean, I'm also joking a little bit with it in order to show what is possible. This sort of instant communication. We can send out a message, say, do you want to participate in this dialogue? And 15 minutes later, we can be online and do it.
Perhaps one should announce it just a little bit in advance so that people could tell their friends and plan. Maybe say that a week from now or 3 days from now, at this particular time, we will be opening up for anyone who would like to participate in a dialogue with Rolf Jackson about his ideas, and you're welcome to join us.
Well, obviously that would probably increase the chance of somebody actually being available. But I'm just sort of kidding around with the possibilities here. That is this sort of instant communication possibility here.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be doing some further testing and see how far we can push this technology. But I think that for now, I'll just say thank you. It's been a delight having you here. And you'll probably be able to see this video later today once I get it posted to the internet. And as an example of what is possible. So thank you and have a nice day.
Great to be here. Bye now.
All right. That was my father, Rolf Jackson, who has written the book Occupy Wall Street, and I'm working with him to promote these ideas. And this was just an example video of what is possible, and obviously we are expanding the possibilities all the time, and we welcome you also to come with suggestions and ideas to us via our Facebook page. You can find us on the net on occupywallstreet.org. And right for now, I'm just going to sign out and say have a nice day.